Just for information, I just took the Tech Live 2021, the directory texmf-dist /tech. So the top level of all the text style files. No fonts. I would say that's the top level of the styles. I installed, I made a Git from it, and made a pack file, and this is 133 megabyte. All.
Okay, so
And if you think that lots of these things are evolutionary, only small changes over many years, I would say the whole stuff will not be more than 1 gigabyte, likely much less.
I've tried to avoid that, even though it gives more compression, because it's at the expense of a complication. You see, Git can compress these things only because it knows these files are related through version control. So you need to sort of put some history in to get the good compression. So identical, not identical is the only thing I'm thinking of using. And that's my preference, if you like, which is conservative in technology, even though it doesn't give the best compression. But certainly if 133 megabytes is all the style files in 1 year, then one would expect a lot of commonality over the years. And I'd be surprised, even without using the deltas to compress, we could get the whole lot in 1 gigabyte. It'll be about 1 gigabyte a decade. That's the sort of growth rate I expect. It's certainly the right ballpark, isn't it? I'd be extremely surprised if all the style files you could ever use did not fit into 2 gigabytes.
Actually, I think there's not much growth. Maybe we are much exaggerating the size. Maybe it's at the end 250 megabyte or twice this one. It will not be much more, because all this is now aged stuff, and there's once in a while a new style file which is always a few kilobytes, and it contains lots of well-known commands which are well compressing. So don't expect that this is much bigger. The more problem is with the fonts for sure, and yeah, fonts, I guess, is yeah.
Fonts are big. And I think there's a lot of good sense in putting those to one side for that reason.
But I thought that once one has such system running, one could have in the log file not only the files which were loaded, but also their hash. So you can store the log file, and then after 50 years, you can, if you want to remake this, you can just look in the log file and ask for this hash. You have to find it somewhere. If there's a good repository, you will find it. And then you can rebuild the identical document from having these hash lists. But there is another point, that is when you have this and you make a new version, then you always go back to the old versions with all the bugs, but the world is going forward, and one would try to have the newest, more bug-free version. Or the question, what we want to do, be more conservative or have bug fixed, and these tiny improvements are always going on. So there should be some road which does tell you, okay, there is an old file from there and there, but actually you should use a newer one, because then some bug will be fixed, for example.